Hello, everyone. Welcome to Kiki and Kibitz. It's me, Mary, and I'm sure you recognize the beautiful lady to my right who has a beautiful ring on her finger. Check it out, guys. It's making its debut on my channel.
It is. It's first
Hey,
debut.
Melissa. Thank you
Hey,
for joining me.
thanks for
So,
having me.
girl, how's your hand? Is it like feeling heavy now?
I can't believe it. You know, though, I'm like so mad because you know that we don't know like what episodes are airing when.
Right.
So I'm like, I don't even have my nails done. You know,
There
and
we
then and
go.
then I find out, that it's gonna be the engagement episode, and I'm like, oh my god, now I can finally put the ring on and show it off. It's like I've had my nails done for the past year. Of course, this couple weeks I know, and now,
And now they air the episode and you
yeah,
could wear the ring.
right.
How long ago did you guys film?
That was in like April, so yeah, like 6 months.
Yeah, so 6 months you had to hide your ring. Damn,
Yeah,
girl.
yeah, I forgot what it looked like. It's been like in Louis' safe box.
Girl, so if I was going to give this particular episode a grade, honestly, I would give it a B just because of you and Louis. But we're gonna leave you guys for last, okay?
Okay.
And I want to get into Bianca and Daniel first. What is your overall impression of them as a
I
couple?
I think that she's immature. She's definitely young. And I think that, him being in prison for 5 years and he's only 31, like neither of them really have their life together. So I think it's going to be difficult for them to like move on because he seems like he really needs a lot of help transitioning. And I
Yes.
just think that he needs somebody strong who already has their shit together to be able to, make sure he's making the right choices. And I don't know if that's going to be her because I think she needs a little help too.
Yes, definitely. So in this particular episode, um episode 45, she is complaining once again about the cup of coffee, about the pouring of the coffee. This is like the third episode in a row. He comes back from seeing his cousin Robert, and he's already annoyed because Robert told him that she talked about their sex life. He walks in the door. He's like, "Hi, hon, can you pour me a glass of water?" And she's like, "No, because you didn't pour me a cup of coffee."
Yeah, I mean, if
And,
she can't let that go, there's not going to be much hope because
right, exactly. I mean, and like, I get where they're both coming from, but all I see is a power struggle between them.
yeah,
Like, he wants to maintain the power in the relationship. She wants to maintain the power in the relationship, and they keep butting heads. That's all
yeah,
I see. And she's immature. I love you, Bianca, but she's very immature. She's young, very young.
yeah, very
And
young.
it shows because she doesn't have that life experience. Because
Right.
life experience does come with age. Even though when in our 20s, we think we know everything. No.
Right. And I don't know, like, right, she really hasn't had, if you're fighting about coffee, what are you going to do when, one of you lose a job or you can't pay your rent or your car breaks down or like when there's actual problems that you're going to have to get through? I mean, pouring the cup of coffee is the least of my worries.
All right, exactly. Exactly. So they go for a walk and he starts freaking out.
Yeah.
Okay, because he's not used to being out in the open and seeing the open sky. Did Louis have a hard time adjusting to that kind of stuff?
Um, he didn't, and I don't know if part of it was because he was in the transitional center and
Sure.
he was like out in the free world working kind of, and then going back to the prison, but he was at least among like other people that were not in prison. So
Right,
I don't know if
exactly.
that helped his transition, but he didn't seem to have a problem like that. But I'm sure wherever you're incarcerated, it's a different experience. So I don't know what kind of
Right.
trauma or happened to him. But I mean, that looked serious and real, that he was about to panic just from taking a walk. And then I was thinking, like, okay, so how is he going to transition into getting a job and, doing everything that he's going to need to do to
Right.
be with
Exactly.
Bianca? Because that was just, a walk.
Right. But it's only day 3 still.
Right, I
So
know.
we have
I
to give
keep
them that.
forgetting that. I know. I do.
Right.
Every time I see, when I
Right.
keep forgetting that, like, our story, Louis been out for so
Right.
long, and that they're still on, day 3. So, right.
Right,
I mean, yeah,
exactly. So he's like freaking out. And like you said, Bianca needs to be the strong backbone in that moment. Instead, what does she do? She starts freaking out and starts crying.
yeah.
So we have both of them freaking out.
I
How is that
cried.
helping the situation?
Right.
It's, so I don't know. These two worry me. Like I know they have their intentions for each other are good. Like they really want to make this work, but they both have to make changes. Do you agree, Melissa? Like
Yeah.
Bianca definitely has to make some changes. Daniel has to make some changes, and they need to compromise and not be so much in a power struggle.
Right. Yeah. Or it's never gonna work if they're both looking for the power. Like, luckily for me, Louis likes taking the lead. No, not taking me taking the lead. So I don't have to.
Right, exactly. Louis just steps back and say, "Hey, you go and you do your
Yeah.
thing," like,
But if they're both trying to be that one, and I don't think that, yeah, I think they both have to kind of just be equal because they both are not in the position, one or the other, to be in control, because they're both kind of like, it seems they don't really have their shit together.
yeah. And one thing I have to say is just pump the brakes when it comes to children and marriage.
Yeah.
It's only day 3,
Right.
Bianca. I know you've been waiting for him while he was in prison. And Melissa, you felt the same way when Louis came out. You wanted to get married, but
Yeah, I did. And it's like, it's day 3. It's like, okay, give it 2 weeks, because then you're gonna realize, like, okay, we have a lot of work to do
right,
here
exactly.
before, we move to the next step. Because there, I was still like, all right, I'm ready. I waited for you. But then it was like, okay, he's starting at 0 and has to really build himself up before he can even, think about that. And I think
Exactly.
Daniel has to do the same.
Yes. And that's what he's thinking. I believe that he wants to build his foundation
Right. Yeah.
before he marries Bianca, and definitely before bringing any kids into this world.
Yeah.
That's just insane. So now moving on to kids, we have Kim and Joey. And I just want to reach to the TV. And Kim, I love you. I just want to reach to the TV and shake her. Okay, first of all, her divorce. Like, what the fuck is up with that?
Yeah,
She
like,
she
it's taking too long. I don't.
she hasn't gone to the courthouse. She hasn't done anything. She's expecting, I don't know, the divorce fairy to come and drop it on her lap. And Joey's all mad now. Joey feels like he's been lied to. This whole thing that he can or couldn't be the father of her oldest child makes my head spin.
Yeah.
I'm like, it was messy, messy back then. I'm like, she was messy, messy, wasn't she?
I mean, and like, he's like asking the kid, like, "Do you want me to be your dad? Do you think we look alike?" And it's like, he doesn't know what's
I know the kid's like, yeah, sure.
yeah, whatever. Like, does that mean more presents?
Exactly. Oh my god. So so Kim and Joey go out to lunch and she drops the bomb. She went wedding dress shopping, but she's not officially divorced yet. And it's not happening, like tomorrow, like he
Right.
thought it was.
Yeah, I mean, he seemed shocked, like he was pissed. He left the table. I mean, I would be too, if Louis was telling me he was getting divorced and then he's telling me he didn't. I mean, what
Right.
has she been doing this whole time? And like he said, they've been separated for the year already that they had to legally, be separated.
Exactly.
So
And all
what's
she has
holding
to
her back?
go down to the courthouse and do what she has to do to get it done. And but instead she's looking for a house to buy with Joey, planning a wedding, planning an engagement party, planning all these things, and she's not officially divorced. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just want to reach the TV and shake her. And then another one I want to reach the TV and shake is Brittany, because why didn't she just tell Key Rock about the conversation with her parole officer?
Right, I know. And I can't believe it ended like that, first of all.
Of course.
I know. I'm like, what?
Of course, you knew it was going to end that way.
I know, I know. I know, but yeah, I don't know why she just didn't tell him either, especially the fact that they're like, you know, both were in prison, both have,
Right, and they
conversations with the
understand. Right, and they both know where they're coming from, and they know how the system sucks and everything else. And
right.
like, what's the big deal? Why didn't you just tell him, listen, hun, I called the parole officer and he said A, B, C, and D.
Right, because now, I don't know, like, I'm guessing she's gonna tell him on next week's episode.
Right, and he's gonna be mad.
Right, he's gonna be like, "Why didn't you tell me? Like, if you were supposed to be, well, and they're held up, with the move
Right,
and all this. Like, I would, because then at least they could have brainstormed and like, okay, is there some way, some way around this, something else we could do to like guarantee you getting the permission to move instead
right,
of like having the whole wedding that she doesn't even want. Well, she wants a big wedding that she doesn't even want to do it this way if they don't even know it's going to work. Well, I mean, she basically now knows it's probably not going to work.
oh, right, exactly. And she's gonna wait until the day of, and basically the moment of, to tell Key Rock, and yeah, he's gonna be pissed.
Yeah, he is.
He's gonna be pissed. So that was basically their segment. I mean, we're just waiting for Brittany to tell Key Rock that maybe they shouldn't get married.
Right. I'm like dying to know, like, are they, are they going to get married there, or are they, and I was surprised his mom wasn't there, you know,
I know nobody was there. Her
nobody was
grandmother,
there.
nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, they basically didn't tell anyone. Key Rock tried to call his mother. She didn't answer the phone. Brittany tried to call her grandmother. She didn't answer the phone.
Right.
What are the chances? I'm
Right.
like, okay. Now, Zaria and Troy. This episode, there was periods that I wanted to reach to the TV and hug her.
Yeah.
And then like the next minute, I wanted to shake her. Okay, it's like she wants her relationship with Troy to fail. Like she wants to find something wrong
Yeah. Yeah.
to have it all implode. Her parents' house had a fire, and somehow she linked the fire back to her relationship with Troy.
Right. That's what the psychic was talking about. And that means, that they're
Right.
doomed or whatever.
Right, exactly. I'm like, girl, that's what I wanted to reach to the TV and shake
Yeah.
her.
Right.
Okay.
It's like I felt bad, for her initially. And then
Right.
it's like, no, I don't think that the fire at your parents' house was trying to tell you that your relationship is doomed.
Exactly. I'm like, girl, please. I mean, I had a fire in my first apartment when I was like 23, 24. So I know how scary it is firsthand to
Wow.
have a fire and to lose stuff. But thankfully everybody was okay. Zaria was really emotional because it's her parents' home. Her son was spending the night there. The fire broke out in her brother's room. If her brother was sleeping in the room, who
Yeah.
knows
Who
what
knows?
could have happened. But she's all emotional, and I'm feeling the emotions with her. And then she loops it back to, well, maybe Patrice is right. Maybe my relationship is doomed.
I know. I'm like, no. Like, I
I'm like,
wouldn't take that as a sign. Like, if the only thing that caught on fire was a picture of you and Troy, maybe.
right, exactly.
But that
Exactly.
didn't happen.
No, it was a electrical fire, It's like,
Right. I mean,
but now her relationship is doomed. Poor Troy gets blamed for things that he doesn't even do. I feel
I
so bad for him sometimes.
I know. And then
Like
and
he's like
then
a hamster on a wheel.
I know. And he seems like such a nice guy that like he really wants to try, to figure something out. Because, initially he didn't want to do the whole preacher
Mhm.
thing, but then
Mhm.
he's still like giving her dad, an
Right.
opportunity to, like, he was there, doing a sermon or whatever,
Right.
practicing when
Mhm.
he doesn't even want to do that really,
Right.
so
Right.
I feel like he's trying to, do what he knows, her family does, and that she, like,
Right.
so
Right. But like he says, it's hard for him to not go back into that street mentality of making
yeah,
easy money, with all the stuff going on and the money problems, but
yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I get it, because I can't imagine like the kind of money you could make on the street versus
right.
like a 9 to 5. Because even like, okay, waitressing, right?
Mhm.
It's hard to get out of waitressing, bartending, like that life, which is why I still do it on the side, because you work a 9 to 5, and after taxes and everything, like you're making more, you know, at those
Right.
kind of jobs. So on the
Right. Yeah.
street, you're probably making triple to like go to a 9 to 5. It's like, right, you need money now. It would take you, 6 months to probably save up what you would need versus like however long, to do something quick to get quick
Right.
money. So like,
Right.
I bet that that's like difficult for him to not just want to like help her be the man and, figure it out.
Just like Rob was saying last week when him and Teeny were fighting over money, that when he was in prison, he would do these poker games and he would send money home and it would be like 5,000, six
I know
thousand a
that's what he was
month,
saying. Yeah.
and now working a 9 to 5, you're not bringing home that kind of monthly income,
No.
especially, and since you're a felon, there's only certain jobs that'll hire you, and those jobs are usually the well-paying jobs. So you're
Right.
going from sending home $5,000-6,000 a month to making half
Right.
of that a month.
Right.
So that's an adjustment. And
Yeah.
then you have to adjust your mentality because it's real easy just to slip back.
Right. And then you're sending, when you're sending it back, you don't even have the bills. So now you're coming out making less, and now you have a phone bill and this and that, and you need clothes and, everything else that you didn't need when you were in prison because it was all, taken care of.
Right? Exactly. Yeah. So Saria, I think, just needs to just take a deep breath. Um, Maybe some meditation will help her, yoga or something, because I feel like, is too high strung and she gets too emotional over things, and like her emotions take over her common sense
Yeah.
sometimes, because she's smart. I give she's a very smart young lady, but she lets her emotions overtake. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah. Yeah, like
girl,
I think she's too in her head sometimes. Like she comes
yes,
up with this stuff and then like runs with it when it's, not that really happening, or like the scenarios she probably comes up with and then kind of like runs with it, and it's like, but
exactly.
that
She's
really
in her
didn't
head.
happen.
Yes. It's like, girl, you're gonna make sure, and then another thing I feel like it is that she has a lot of guilt for cheating on him.
Oh yeah.
And she's afraid that he's gonna do it back.
Right. And yeah, it's like, and she wants to be reassured that like
Right.
it's not going to happen. And
Right.
I think that's her own insecurity, because
Exactly.
she broke the
Insecurity.
trust. Yeah,
Right.
to
Guilt.
try
Yes.
to like have this proof, which you're not going to get,
Right.
because there is no, guarantee that somebody's not going to do that to you. So, yeah, I think like that's just what she's, searching for, like some reassurance to be like, you know, like if the
Exactly.
psychic tells her, everything's gonna be great, she'll believe it, I guess.
I know. Yes, I know. And unfortunately, she looks to the psychic for reassurance when she should look to Troy and look
Right.
at what Troy's doing and his actions.
Yeah, he's the only one that's gonna be able to provide the reassurance for her.
Exactly. So, I don't know, Zaria, please. I don't think the psychic's good for you. She gets in your head too much, and I don't know. So
And I don't want
now
to go to a psychic. Sorry, I don't want to go to a psychic either because I don't know if I would react like that. If I would run with it and start letting it, interfere with my real
I've
decisions
had
or
friends that have gone to psychics and they run with it, and I'm like,
yeah.
ugh,
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't even like don't even mess with this, all right? Just forget the
exactly.
psychic.
Just forget the psychic.
Yeah.
Let Troy, prove himself to you.
Yeah.
I don't know. Melissa, you want to show off your ring again?
I do, I do, I do. Oh my gosh, I just really can't believe that I'm engaged and that Louis really pulled it off.
Ugh, thank you so much, Faith. Thank you, Faith, for the super chat. Um, yes, I can't believe Louis pulled it off. First of all, second of all, I can't believe he didn't tell you to wear comfortable shoes.
I know.
How the fuck did you climb all of those stairs?
I'm like, and it's like, watching it back, it's like, okay, I look like, oh, I'm complaining, whatever. But it's like, I don't know what's about to happen, right? So it's
Yes.
like, I'm just thinking, he told me we're going to dinner, and I show up dressed like we're going to dinner, and then he's like, oh, hey, we're actually climbing up there. It's like, what?
Melissa, I would have been bitching all the way to the top too. Don't worry.
And it's
Okay.
like, the stairs
I
have
would have
holes in
been
them.
cursing and bitching all the way to the top. And my husband would have been the same as Louis. Just shush.
Yeah,
Just
just
zip it
zip
for a minute.
it.
Just zip it. Just zip it. Just shut up and just let's get to the top.
Yeah.
So, and you're afraid of heights.
Yes. Like, I don't. I'm like, I swear, I'm like, I don't know if he just wants to torture me.
Okay, so when you saw Marry Me in the Sand and Louis on his knee, what was the first thing that popped into your head?
I was just like, I thought like, oh, I can't believe this is happening right now. Like, I'm not prepared. Like, that's what I felt like because I hate, being surprised. Like, I wanted to, I don't know, like be in on it or know what was going to happen, but beforehand. So
Or
what I,
at least be able to wear comfortable shoes
right.
because
Like,
it
I
looked
don't
like
know,
your feet were
maybe I would have,
hurting.
yeah, like wore something different or been ready. I don't know. Yeah, I was just like, I can't believe this is happening right now. And then, like, yeah, as I'm looking at the box, I'm just like, oh my God, what is this ring gonna look like? Like, open it, open it, open it.
Like, open it. You guys weren't on, such good terms at the moment either. You guys had just gotten
Yeah.
into an argument. You saw the video of the ropes and the thrust, and you weren't too happy about any of this. It all went away in that moment, right?
Yes, I feel like in that moment, like I forgot about everything. I wasn't even like thinking about, you know, the girls or fight because I've wanted Louis to do this since he got out of prison. So at that moment, I'm like, this is my moment. Like this is it. Like this is the one and only time he's gonna be on his knee. So I better zip it.
Now, did you realize that Louis was working these 4 jobs to save this money for this beautiful fucking rock on your finger?
No, and then I felt like every episode rewatching, like now, like, after I'm like, oh my God, like I was, fighting with him for answering his phone, for doing this. Meanwhile, he's like saving for the ring that I wanted. And I'm like, oh my God.
You're
I
like,
should have been a
sorry,
little
honey.
more understanding. Yeah.
I didn't mean to be such a bitch, honey.
Yeah.
Sorry, right? But you have said that you have your jealous side and you don't know if you're ever going to be that type of woman that doesn't get jealous. And when you said that, I felt you there because even after, gosh, how long has I been with this man? 25 something years. I still find myself capable of being jealous.
Yeah. Okay. So see there
Yeah,
that's
because chicks do like to flirt with my husband. And I'm like, hello, I'm standing here.
right. And it's like, and it's not even about not trusting him because
Right.
I just don't like other women giving him attention. And I feel like, he's still learning, not like being so naive that he doesn't sometimes know their intentions. And, maybe it could come off innocent, like at the gym or training. And then next thing you know, it's like, oh, hey, should we get a coffee after? Or, like, I just want, like, he's so friendly that
Right.
it scares me sometimes.
Right, right. And he's, like you said, naive, that it doesn't cross his mind that these women are being a little flirtatious or inappropriate. And he's just like, oh, okay, we're going to go get coffee.
Right. And I'm like, what?
Hmm.
I can't help it. It's my Italian side, I
Yeah,
guess.
yes, same here. Mm. So, what did your sister say about the ring?
I mean, I don't think anyone was prepared for the size of the ring.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't I think everyone was like, "Oh my god, like that's a fucking rock." Like I'm still like
You still
now that I
stare
can
at it and go,
finally
holy
wear
shit.
it, I'm like, "Damn, that's a rock." Like I mean, I
That's a
definitely think
rock,
that
girl.
maybe, my sister's a little jealous. I don't know. Like,
The scene between Louis and your dad, now that you had a chance to watch it back, what did you think?
I mean, I like Louis really looked like nervous. And when I was watching it, when we were watching it, I'm like, oh my God. Like, first of all, right, I didn't even know he asked my dad. So I
Right.
was, happy that he did, do the traditional, way and ask my dad for permission. And, I was really surprised that my dad he really came around. Like he really saw what Louis did, keep his word, and he was, in the end okay with it and giving him, the blessing to propose. And I really felt like it was like sincere and genuine
Yeah.
that, my dad really saw that he kept his word because he did, like he really did everything that he said he was going to do. So at this point, I don't think that my dad was going to, like disapprove because for
Right.
what?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. But when Louis called Donna, Donna was like, "Are you sure? Why are you guys in a rush?"
Yeah. I mean, obviously that didn't surprise me, but when I watched it. But I'm just like, and then with the 2 carrots, she's like, what? Um, I'm just like, why? Why does, like how much longer does she want us to wait? I mean, I don't think we rushed it at all. I mean, 18 months out of prison, we've been together over 2 years, you know, we
Right.
know,
Yeah.
I don't, we're not 3 days out.
Yeah. I feel you, Melissa. You guys are not 3 days out. So, Donna just wanted to make sure Louis was sure of what he was doing, and then she was curious of where the hell he got the money to do it. And Louis like, I got my money saved, Mom. Don't worry.
Yeah, because I mean, and I don't blame her for asking that because, she's obviously been through it with Louis, through
Right.
his addiction, through so I'm sure like him now being capable of saving any amount of money is shocking to her because like he said, he never had any money in his bank account for anything because he would spend all his money on
Right.
drugs. So
Right.
I'm sure, for her it's like, okay, she wants to believe that he's doing the right thing, but probably in the back of her head for seeing him through all those years she's like, is he
Is he
is he
really?
right, is he
Yeah.
really, or because like that's how I just from her point of view I would imagine, it's how do you see somebody now like that he's so different after her really knowing how he was.
Right. I know what you mean. So, let's see. What else has happened this season? I think that's it so far for this season with you guys.
Yeah.
And then your new nose, which
Yes.
I think looks great. How do
I
you
mean,
feel
I
about your nose?
Well, now, okay, like watching those episodes, like I'm like, oh my God, it was still swollen there. Like,
Right.
I'm like, oh my, I don't think that my nose looks like even in the proposal now.
Right.
But now it's been over like a year and 2 months because a year was in August. So
Okay.
I think that it's finally like pretty much settled
Okay.
because they
So
say
that's
it
the
takes like
way
a
it's gonna
year.
look.
I think so. I
Okay.
mean, yeah, I think this is how it's gonna look now, but
Right.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
because on the show it's still a little swollen. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
And I'm
like on
like,
the
because I
tip
was
and stuff.
watching it and I'm like, oh my God, like that doesn't even look like my nose now. But then I'm like, okay, well, that was still, 6, 7 months ago. And that wasn't
Right.
even like that was only 9 months after the
After
surgery.
exactly.
So I mean, I like it now, but I'm like, I don't know. Do I need a revision?
Do you want to get anything else done?
um, I mean, I am not against anything because I think that I'm, now that I'm in my 40s, I'm not embracing the aging process.
Oh, girl, don't even get me started.
I'm like, no,
Don't
I definitely would like to get probably my boobs done eventually, like before the wedding. That's
want to be looking at a wedding date for.
I don't know. I mean, we're like, okay, can we, are we like next year, the year after? Of course, I'm like, all right, let's go, go, go. But I also want it to be like so special. So,
Of course.
yeah, I don't know. We got to iron
Gotta,
out the details.
gotta start making some decisions.
Yeah, I know. I know. Cause now I'm like, now I feel like, okay, now we have to start like planning everything.
Right. But you have time. I
Yeah.
mean, I've heard that it usually takes like a year and a half out from the time you're engaged anyway to have like a wedding date with the venues.
Okay, so that's
So,
yeah. And I
yeah,
mean, and we're gonna start counting it now because like technically now is when we're engaged, because
exactly. It's
we
because you can
haven't
show
been
the ring.
doing anything, as
Right, right,
an engaged couple,
right. Um, you guys need to have an engagement party.
I know, I know,
You gotta show that rock off, Melissa.
I
Come
know. I'm
on.
like, I'm gonna wear it everywhere now.
Girl,
Well,
I'm
except to
so
except to
happy
the
for you
post
guys.
office.
Exactly. And don't wear it to the post office,
Yeah,
please.
no.
I'm so happy for you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm like, I can't, when they were showing on the episode, like the flashbacks
Oh,
of,
that
when I
yes.
was like, and
Mm,
I'm like, it just seems like a lifetime ago because of, like how far I think, he's come, mostly him, but like we've
yes.
come as a couple that I'm like, wow, I think back to like, I really saw something in him, when we first reconnected, that like, I just knew that he had potential. And I think that, even though I come off like a little bitchy. But he
You never.
but I think that he needed that and needs that kind of push, and the
Right.
fact that, I was already stable helped him, be able to overcome and accomplish everything that he has. And I'm just like, so proud of him that he really did everything he said he was going to do. And like looking like, right, he's not even 2 years out and
Right.
already, he's done so much. So I feel
Yes.
like
Yes, he
I was right
has.
about him. And
Yes, you were. You were right about him.
yeah.
Cool. So I guess that's basically it for this episode. I mean, besides you guys and Zaria and Troy, it was kind of on the boring side, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, there really wasn't any other
Yeah, there
excitement
wasn't.
going on, or like, nothing was revealed, nothing was.
Oh, Zaria revealed that she was adopted. So
Oh,
let's talk
right.
about that. Yes, let's talk about that before we go. Zaria's adopted and how the whole thing, affected her. Um, she has a relationship with her biological father, but when she reached out to her biological mother when she turned 18, she told her, I don't want to have a relationship with you. This was supposed to be a closed adoption, so Zaria really took that rejection.
Yeah.
And the reason why this was brought up was she was talking to her mom about her wedding, and she wants her father to marry her and her biological father to walk her down the aisle.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was shocked when she had said that, that she was adopted because I had just, assumed those were her parents. And I can't imagine how traumatizing that is to have reached out to the mom and her say like, oh, it was a closed adoption. But I also think that her dad is not going to be happy with her wanting her biological father to walk her down the aisle. I mean, I don't know. I don't see that going over too well, especially since like she just got in contact with him, recently. Like I
Right,
could see if it was like one big happy family and
right.
everyone knew each other, but I definitely think that her dad's gonna feel some type of way about only being able to marry them and not walk her down the aisle. I mean,
But she got very emotional, and she was so, and that was another moment I want to reach to the screen and hug her,
yeah,
because I could imagine. And she was talking about how when she was, growing up, that she was bullied for not looking like her family because she's
yeah,
light skinned and they're darker skin. And she
yeah,
used to look around and wonder why she didn't look like them. And then when, her mom told her she was adopted, it all made sense to her. But she still, felt left out and didn't know where she came from,
yeah.
you
I mean,
know?
that's got to be like on a child. And she said her mom told her when she was 3. So,
Yes,
she probably spent a lot of years, not knowing.
right.
I mean, yeah, that's gotta be hard. I mean, her mom, though, seems to take it, like, very well, like, very comfortable talking about it,
Mm-hmm.
comfortable her even talking about her biological father. So I think that, she's obviously very mature about the situation and not like it doesn't seem like she has any animosity towards, her biological father or anything for
Right.
giving, for giving her up for adoption. So I think that, you know, if the families try to like get involved like her biological father, like I think that her current parents will accept them with like open arms. Well,
Yes.
him.
Yeah. So do I.
Yeah. Mm.
So
I
that was
mean,
basically
her dad looks young though, right?
right. Yeah, he
Yeah.
does,
I was
right?
like, oh wow, that's her dad.
You're like, hello there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's like muscles and geez.
Yeah. Like, wow.
Yeah.
So I guess that's basically it for this episode.
Yeah. Hopefully next week we'll bring some more exciting stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you and Donna are gonna have a talk. We see in the previews, so that's gonna be, you and Donna in
So
the same room is always interesting,
it
always
is.
entertaining, always entertaining. You two. All right, Melissa, show off the ring one more time before we go.
I'm like, wait, is it in frame? No, there we go.
Yes, yes,
All
it's in
right.
frame. There we go. Thank you so much, girl, for joining me.
Thanks, Mary.
And I'll see you next time because I'm sure you'll be back because I love having you on.
Yes, yes. Me and Louie can come back when we're
Yes,
yeah.
yes, we need Louis back. We need
Yeah.
Louis. Too. Okay,
If he's
thank
ever
you.
off of work.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, because
Yeah.
he works like 8 days a week, right?
I know, yes.
4 jobs, 8 days a week. Jeez. All right, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Thank you, Melissa. See you
Thanks,
guys
Mary.
next time. Bye.
Bye.